Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Taufik Rahman. I am from Pelita Bangsa University, majoring in Information Engineering and in class 20 B1. On this occasion, I want to explain about introduction to business English. The scope of teaching business English. English language teaching has gone through a radical shift of emphasis in the last 20 years, beginning with the communicative revolution of the mid 109 and business English, which appeared on the ELT stage as a course programmed and a learning objective in the late 70s, has been shaped by a range of influence from both the ELT and the non-ELT world. So, the teaching of business English has received noticeable contribution from number one, ELT methodologies which teach language, knowledge, and language skill in a range of business contexts through communicative activities. Number two, communication training which develop the effectiveness of the total communication process by looking at the message in the term of its form and delivery. Number three, management disciplines which provide professional content on key areas. In short, the teaching of business English brings together three areas. Number one, teaching the pedagogic skill in running training programs. Number two, English knowledge of the language, and latterly, an understanding of the role of communication in professional situations. Number three, business familiarity with the key issue facing specific learner or learner group. Each of these areas is evolving in its own way. New teaching approaches bring in the training ideas such as the moderation, change introduce new form, communication adapts to evolving behavioral and technological standard, and business both initiated and respond to changing practice. All in all, the menu provides a rich mix, a starting point for exploring the scope of business English and the range of skill needed by the business English teacher. And for any practitioner, the challenge is in the dynamic mix between one, each teacher on personal and humanistic approach to teaching. Two, the knowledge to be acquired by the learners. Three, the skill to be developed by the learners. The objectives of business English learning and teaching: accuracy, fluency, and effectiveness. The recent history of ELT can be divided into two periods: the pre-communicative era and the post-communicative era. Pre-1975, the emphasis of most language teaching was on developing knowledge of the language form in terms of grammar and vocabulary. Identified to linguistic analysis, these elements were subsequently organized into teaching programs and course material. Outward language drills in camp, pair, work, and small group communicative activities. In the early years of the communicative revolution, accuracy was sacrificed in favor of fluency. The battle cry was get the student to talk at all costs. One could be forgiven for thinking that the accuracy versus fluency debate would remain center stage. Yes, yet in ESP, English for specific purpose, another dimension was identified, namely effectiveness, making it into a three-cornered contest. The fluency versus effectiveness versus accuracy debate differs a little more attention since, in my book, they are separate areas. My reasoning goes as follows. Firstly, all normal native speakers are fluent in their mother Tongyu. However, they are not all effective communicators. Therefore, fluency, the objective of communicating with teaching, will not necessarily lead to effectiveness. Similarly, among non-native speakers, some rank fairly highly on the fluency scale, yet considerably lower on the effectiveness scale. Therefore, fluency does not equal effectiveness. Secondly, all educated native speakers can connect sentences in their mother tongue in terms of grammar and vocabulary. Yet, this linguistic accuracy does not automatically lead of effectiveness in communication. The same is true of non-native speaker. I have taught many students who have had an excellent knowledge of linguistic forms, but who would not be considered as effective communicators. On the other hand, there are those natural communicators who break the language rules, yet transmit convincing and effective message. Therefore, accuracy does not equal effectiveness. My conclusion is that we have three different yet related elements or skill: accuracy, fluency, and effectiveness. As shown in the diagram which follows, and it is important that we decide which one or two or three our particular training course shall concentrate on. The scope of business English. Corresponding with learner objective, we have the major element as the building blocks for course design and a constellation of minor parts. Language knowledge reflect the formal aspect of grammar, vocabulary, and the sound system. In communication, we active this knowledge to transmit message through different channels. For example, presentation, meeting, telephoning, or in written document, such as correspondence or report. Language knowledge reflect what one knows of the language. Communication skill, what one knows how to do with the language. Together, they are a powerful instrument in assessing overall competence. The legitimate scope of our pedagogic activities as business English trainer is to design and deliver course which aim to increase language knowledge and to develop communication skill. However, what makes business English trainer different from general English trainer is partly related to language and partly to communication. The first, the language to be introduced and practiced in the business English classroom reflect the professional background of the learners. Secondly, the channels communication to be developed and practiced reflect the professional work of presentation, meeting, and telephoning rather than general communication in discussion. Thus, business English draw on general English for some of these contents. Number one, professional content provides a range of settings or themes related to professional function, such as marketing or finance, or to business sector, such as banking or pharmaceutical. Both general English and business English need context for developing language knowledge and communication skill. Number two, management skill. Managers manage. A marketing manager manages marketing, and a production manager manages production. Although we can define the content of marketing and production, the precise activities of management are less clearly precised. The history of management shows that different periods have focused on different skills, yet in the changing web of management activities. Number three, cultural awareness. Culture refers the value shared by a group of people. while culture has traditionally been viewed and analyzed at the national level. Other groups clearly share belief, behavior, and other traits. These are courses where the primary structure of the course material is linguistic. In other words, a glance at the content page of a soft ESP book, such as early business context, will show the traditional linguistic categories: grammatical, functional, and lexical. So, what the dif- so what differentiates it from a general English course? Content. However, the specialist content, be it business, technical, or legal, is an add-on to give the materials a flavor of the specific area. In other words, they are a credible teaching vessel, but not authentic in term content or context. They are good for developing language knowledge and communicative fluency. They are less good at developing effectiveness in communication. Our second member is the communication skill course. Here the emphasis is on effective transmission of a message. As with some ESP course, content is not a primary focus, although it might be provided as an adjunct in order to contextualize the course within the student professional area. C.G. Effective presentation for marketing personnel or effective negotiation for finance managers. These communication skill courses are clearly valuable for communication effectiveness. They are good at developing language accuracy for communicative fluency. Our third member is the hard ESP course. Here, the driving force in organizational terms is the learner specialist area and the key question which he or she needs to deal with. Below are two examples, the first from marketing and the second from personnel. Maybe this is all I can. I'm sorry if there are any mistake in the words or it's not optimal. Please open the door to apologize profusely. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.